Hey everybody, welcome to Insufferable Bastards. My name is Carlos Danger. For the purposes of this broadcast, I am not joined by my co-host, Mr. Brian Spears. Hello, hello. He's in upstate New York, filming a movie or something like that. Actually, he just messaged me. How about that? Maybe he was available. But I thought I would talk. I had this whole thing planned out for today, but I changed it at the last second because a new Who Are These podcasts dropped, and they go after Chad Zumock pretty hard. This is a movie review and television review podcast, but we have on occasion several times ventured into podcast reviews, podcast drama, specifically anything related in any way to the Howard Stern show, which we used to be, or Brian still listens to, and I used to be a big fan. Haven't listened in a long time. So anyway, Chad Zumock, if you're not familiar, I know him as Kevin Brennan's ex-sidekick. I know that's not the appropriate term. He was like the talent booker or associate producer or something like that. On Brennan's podcast, Misery Loves Company, they had a falling out. Chad has a history of beefing with other comedians, and I was taken aback. I was taken aback by how angry Karl is in this particular episode of Who Are These podcasts. By the way, it's Sunday, October 9th, if you need to know that. So let me share my screen and share the sound and all that crap. And here we go. Here's Karl talking.
I want to address something. I've been taking the high road for a long time on this, but Chad Zumock really pissed me off this week.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
He's back, everyone.
So I have to just address this because, listen, he's reached out to me a number of times. He needs me to take down Reddit posts and Reddit threads because, I'm up for a job on a radio show, and when you Google my name, this thing comes up where everyone says I'm an asshole. And I've been nice about it. I take him down for him. I haven't talked about him. I haven't done anything. But he has to understand that when he came on my show, and he's apologized for this, but he disrespected the show. Mm-hmm. He came on, and what he says now is that he came on to troll us about Stuttering John. Like, I was just taking John's side to troll the show. You came on my show to troll my show, you fucking asshole? That's a dick move. That's not what this show is. It's not, let's troll the host, Karl, and fuck up his show.
Yeah. No,
you come on this show, we're going to have some fun, we have some laughs, and then people like you, they want to check out your podcast, you grow your audience that way. He didn't come at it with that thought at all.
Yeah, it backfired on him like really hard.
Well, first off, it totally backfired on him, and he admits that, but he reached out to me. He wanted to come on the show. I'd never heard of this guy. He reached out to me because he had a personal vendetta against the guy he used to do radio against in Cleveland.
Right.
So they had rival radio shows. And he's got this vendetta still for some reason because Chad does not let go of a grudge. And so he wanted to come on and just yell about what an asshole this guy is. He didn't have any fun with it. I couldn't have any fun with it because he was just on there like just going nuts. He's just, yeah, you fucking suck, man. And Karl thinks you suck. Everyone thinks you suck. It's like, all right, this is kind of a roast style show. We're trying to have a little bit of fun here.
Yeah, what's funny about this?
Yeah,
You're just mad.
It's not great. And then, of course, he had to do the whole Chrissie Mayr thing, and he just wanted to rip on Chrissie Mayr and, do that in your own time. I'm running a show.
And all these things we're talking about aren't even the worst things he's ever done.
Correct. So this is what really annoyed me because I watched a video with Chad this week. And actually, let me read to you this tweet that he put out. I don't like, quote, all caps, piling on, unquote, because it's gross in a lot of ways. However, at Stuttering John M is completely, quote, all caps, void, unquote, of this rule. Horrible sentence. I am now ready to tell my stories of Stuttering John soon. Ooh, it's tease. It's one of those things. It's like, fucking just do it or don't. Yeah.
I just want to say that Stuttering John blocked me this week. No reason. I've always been fair to him.
Don't tease us about your stories. I will also join the, quote, all caps, pile on, unquote, from here on out because he's a terrible person and even worse comic. Here's what's going on. Chad is realizing there's an opportunity here. People are warming up to Shuley. Everyone used to hate Shuley. They're warming up to him. We got all these people getting involved now in ripping on Stuttering John because it's so much fun. And Chad just put out a comedy special. The reason why I know that is because I'm on his fucking mailing list for some reason. I got an email from him. Happy to announce my long-awaited dry bar special, Kmart Ready, will be debuting this week. And then the last sentence, I'm reaching out to everyone, asking for help getting the word out. Some comics have blown up from these dry bar specials, so I would at least like to try. Dude, it's over, buddy. You're not going to blow up. You've been at this for decades. It's not happening for you. It's fine. Take the L. It's not a big deal.
Hey, we got 7,000 views for interviewing Shuley.
Anyway.
Never say never.
What I was really annoyed with is the fact that now he thinks he's just going to jump in and be one of these guys like, yeah, I'm roasting Stuttering John too. It's like, dude, you fucked up. You came on the show. I had a great segment ready for us to go. You could have riffed with me. We could have had a great time. I had to kick. You're the only person who ever kicked off my show in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get through anything. It was so fucking annoying. I remember looking at producer Chris going, what am I going to do? What are we doing? I'm like, thanks, Chad. People should check out Chad's show. Bye. All right, here's Opie. You know?
Well, you made that move.
I did. Thank fucking God.
And that was his opportunity to rip on John.
Well, then we had him back on the show. He asked him back. I don't know if he remembers this. He came back on a bonus episode. And all the shit he's talking about where he's going to tell his Stuttering John story, he already told it. He already told all this shit. He was going to go on John's show. He had to make up that his aunt was going to get doxxed in order to not go on John's show. And John doxxed him and sent his email address out, and he got all pissed off at him, and they had this crazy exchange. So that's already out there, Chad. You already came on the show. And by the way, he fucked up the second appearance, too. Because, again, he brought a personal vendetta. I can't even remember what it was now. But it was the same thing. It was just like, you're not having fun with this. You're just a mean dick. You know, this isn't a show for people who just want to air their dirty laundry.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, all right, I get it. You don't like the guy. Can we make jokes or what's going on?
But if you just keep teasing it like Sal D.
So what? Yeah, I know.
Who's Sal D? I'm not that familiar.
I'm learning. I'm learning as I go here. So what really pissed me off was I'm watching this video with Chad, and he's got his buddy, and this came out just earlier this week. And Chad's talking about how he's going to get into the Stuttering John thing, and you know, he's really going to go after him and all this stuff. And then he's calling out John for fucking up with his sock account. Because, you know, like John sometimes will write something with his sock account and then respond to himself as that sock account.
Right, yeah.
Pretend, you know, whatever. So Chad calls him out for that. Chad, you can't do that. You got busted.
He's done that.
He clowned Bert Kreischer as his sock account and then replied, hey, Chad, did you see this? But he was doing it as Chad.
Yeah.
He fucked up.
Yeah, right.
So he tried to make it seem like organically somebody just wanted to let Chad know, like, oh, Bert did a bad job interviewing Adam Sandler. Did you see this? And then Bert Kreischer saw this. They talked about this on Two Bears, One Cave. Bert was just like, oh, buddy. Oof. Really? This is what you're doing for attention?
Bert Kreischer's getting over on Chad Zumock? That's a bad look, Chad.
He is on the pay no mind list with Bert Kreischer. He's been kicked out of clubs because they're from the same area in Tampa, those guys. So
There's great background on that, what he's talking about on Misery Loves Company a couple of months back.
Take credit cards there?
Dude, let me tell you the funniest thing. There's a thread going on right now on the Dabblers, I think, or maybe it's our subreddit, but talking about what a piece of shit Chad is. Yeah. And this is my favorite one from StutJohn's new squeegee. It says, I give Chad a lot of credit for laying the cards on the table. Thought that was funny. Thought that was a good joke. So my point is this. You have no business calling anyone out for sock accounts when you've been busted with sock accounts. So he said, who do you think has the most sock accounts? Stuttering John, Chrissie Mayr, or Frank Pellegrino? So he's got this weird fucking thing with Frank and Chrissie. I remember when he was on my show, the thing, he's like, she's just trying to be famous. Well, yeah, she's in show business.
Right.
Chad, you should try being famous. That's how you are successful.
May I just butt in real quickly, and I apologize. He does have like an obsession. I think it's safe to say it's an obsession at this point with Chrissie Mayr. Is that how she says her name? I don't know. I only know her. I know her through him because I would listen to Misery Loves Company and he would bring her up all the time. And that was like a good year ago. I don't know. I'm not familiar with her stand-up. I've seen bits and parts of live streams she's done. And that's one thing you can't argue. That woman has to be the hardest working stand-up there is, right? Her and Shuley. I mean, the amount of content she puts out and podcasts she does is stunning. And I think her and Frank are from where I grew up or live. I'm from Westchester, originally northern Westchester.
In show business by being famous.
Which I'm not proud of.
Fucking idiot. Chad does not fucking get it. He doesn't understand why Chrissie has risen to fame. She's killing it. And he's still doing nothing. Yeah. He's buying Twitter followers, which is embarrassing. If you go on his Social Blade, you can see every time he buys 2,000 fucking Twitter followers, and they all go away because they're bots.
Can he afford that?
Somebody's buying them. I don't know if it's his name on the card or not, but he's definitely buying fucking bots and shit like that. And I'll say this. I've had Frank and Chrissie at my house. I wouldn't trust Chad at my house.
No.
There's no way I'd ever invite him over here.
Yeah.
He's not one of those guys that I want to like fucking be, yeah, go sit in the basement until we're ready. I'll be down in a minute.
Not near me.
Fuck that. So, listen, Chad is a grifter. He's trying to jump on the Stuttering John bandwagon because he sees a business opportunity. He just wants to fucking get promotion for his new stand-up because he's going to make it big. This is going to be the one, guys. Yeah. My big special's coming out. And like I said, actually, Chad even emailed me this morning because I put this out on Twitter.
You really?
I was teasing them. I'm like, look, I'm no longer holding back. I'm this fucking asshole.
Yeah, and he didn't. Holy cow. I mean, I've been listening to Who Are These Podcasts for about a year. I found them, or I guess about a year. I found them through Stuttering John. I was listening to the Stuttering John podcast, going back and listening to, I guess, some older episodes. I'm bad with time. But John was complaining about these other podcasts ripping him off, and I found that interesting, and that's how I found Who Are These Podcasts. So in my short time listening, I've never heard Karl this angry. I think he is like Team Chrissie, though, right? It sounds like they're close. And circling of the wagons, perhaps, is happening there because Chad is like kind of beating that dead horse. His whole beef with Chrissie that I'm not even sure how it started, but he mentions Chad hijacking his appearance, and this is the appearance on there. So I'll just play a quick clip from Chad, previous appearance on Who Are These Podcasts.
How you live your life, too, I've noticed. You like to start shit with a lot of people. I enjoy that a lot. I heard you shitting on Chrissie Mayr on a recent podcast.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
All right. Well, before we get into anything else, let's finish up on a few clips here. You listened to an episode, number 14, called Not Doing That, and he reads an email about losing.
That's that. I mean, it's interesting there that actually Karl brought up the whole Chrissie thing, which Chad then took off with, I guess. I don't think I ever heard that episode. But as you can see, Chad today, an hour ago, and it's 3:25 p.m. Sunday, responded. So here is a little bit of Chad reacting to Karl. I'm getting all my C's wrong. Is it Karl, Chad, Kevin? I'm confused.
Fuck. Karl from Rochester's pissed. So I listened to it. And I got to be honest with you, I'm a fan of the show. I don't listen to it all the time. And honestly, since Shuli's show came around, Uncle Rico, like, Karl's podcast is like, and I'm not even trying to say this to be personal. Shuli's just doing a way better job shitting on Stuttering John, him and Bob Levy, because they're comics. They're real comics. And it's just kind of like JV and varsity. Like Shuli's varsity, Karl's JV. And he does a good job. Listen, Karl's like a radio nerd. He grew up loving Opie and Anthony. And, he likes to play radio in his basement. And, he's doing the whole Jocktober thing. And, I've gone on a show. I tried to troll them. Didn't work. I fucked up. I owned it. But he does this whole thing about me, but he's put me on blast or notice. And I go, I got to listen to this. And, he comes out of the gate. He's pissed. Livid. He's had enough of me. He's tried to ignore me. He's been patient with me. I disrespected his show. He's had it. He says he's just going to address it because I'm nothing, and he's going to move on. And I'm laughing the whole time. And he's saying that, what did he call me? Like, what was the word? A vagrant or something? I don't even remember what it was, but he was saying all this shit.
Grifter. Chad, he called you a grifter.
That I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I get it. I get everything you're doing. I even get what Chrissie and Frank are doing. I know what you're doing. I know what everyone's doing. I could do it too. I could play ball and kiss Kumia's ass like you all do. You all kiss his ass. But I choose not to because I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't think Kumia is a god. I don't give a fuck what's left over from the Opie and Anthony fame. Kumia is a dick, period. He's a dick, and he's a racist. I mean, it's just what it is. He's funny. You know, when he turned troll on me, when he turned on me because of Kevin, I was disappointed. I'm like, all right. And I rolled with the punches, all your little credit card. I rolled with it. But after year one, it just started getting repetitive and old.
If anybody doesn't know, Chad was arrested and charged with fraudulent use of a credit card I think it was in Florida. The court case was disposed. I don't know what the final outcome was. I'm sure it was knocked down. Maybe he's on like accelerated rehab or something like that, where you stay out of trouble for a certain amount of time and it's expunged from your record. That's like 99% of court cases.
And you start hearing the same joke over and over. And I'm like, listen, I'm nobody's punching bag. Fuck you. So I just fought back because I don't suck up to anybody. I don't kiss anyone's ass. I don't mind turbulence. It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay not to be sheep, be part of the herd. It's all right. It's all right not to fall in line. I'm good with that. I'm good. And Karl proceeds to go and saying I'm banned from who are these podcasts? Damn it. Fuck. What am I going to do? I like the show.
Although I know people our YouTube comments, people get pissy if I don't like correct things. And I didn't sound to me like Karl said he was banned. It says that he's on the pay no mind list.
Liked it. I went on, actually a lot of people don't know this, but I went on his podcast again after the troll, and I kind of admitted to it, and we shit on my old radio show, and he's saying I was just mean and I wasn't rolling with it. You said it went great. That's what you told me. I don't know. See, the thing about Karl, I don't know him well at all. He comes off as just like a little radio nerd, but he also, like, you can tell he's a little shifty. He's a little shifty, and for anyone to kiss Chrissie Mayr's ass like that, I can't respect you, dude. Come on, she's killing it. She's killing it. She is so not authentic. It's all a brand. She was a feminist. This is all a business model. And granted, you guys are making some money. I don't know how much. I think Chrissy's making $89 on Patreon, but Karl, you're making a lot of money. And I understand Kumi is your meal ticket. He helped launch that thing. He helped get you those listeners going on a show and promoting it. And that's great. Good for you. There's the American dream. And I'm allowed to not like Stuttering John too. Like, you don't own that. You don't own that. When Stuttering John turned on me, I'm like, this guy's a douche. And I saw what Shuli was doing. It was funny, so I wanted to share my story about what happened with me. And I got 3 more stories that I probably will tell eventually that happened at the Boca Black Box Theater that a fan of mine told me going to dinner with John going out on a boat. I have some funny stories I want to share. I'm not going to dedicate my whole podcast to it, but I'm allowed to talk about it. I'm allowed. I'm cashing in. No, it's fun. It's fun. John's a fucking idiot. And the fact that you guys are comparing me to him is so stupid. He's an idiot. This is the thing, Karl. I don't care if you talk about me all you want. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. But I emailed him because there was a couple things that bothered me because I'm promoting my comedy special, my dry bar special, came out ready. And I sent a mass email to every email address that I've ever had. One went to Karl, and I just asked to help promote it, share it. And he kind of did, so thank you, Karl. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of my stand-up. I'm a stand-up comic first. I love doing stand-up. I love coming up with an idea. So the 30 minutes I did for dry bar, I'm like, I did a good job. I did a good job. And I wanted people to watch it. What's wrong with that? Like Chrissy, she'll do anything. She doesn't care about stand-up. That's just one little... She wants to be a reporter. She's a podcaster. She's a shock jock. She's a patriot. She's a newswoman. She'll do any... What do I got to do? What do I got to do to get famous? And that's another thing, Karl. He's like, that's the name of the game. I don't want to be famous, dude. I'd rather be infamous. I'd rather have a small group of people that like my shit. Niche. Kind of like you have. You have like a niche audience. That's all I want. I don't want to be famous like Chrissie. I don't want to be a Kardashian. I don't want to be a fucking, that was never a Burt Kreischer. That was never my thing.
I don't know why he keeps bringing up Chrissie Mayr. It's confusing to me. What does she have to do with any of it? I mean, I get they have the beef, but...
Oh, and going back to the Reddit thing, you said I made you take down a post. No, I asked because I was up for a radio gig. And fucking Chrissie and Frank Pellegrino, they're putting shit out there on Reddit. And I wanted to get this show. And that's the first thing that came up in Google, and it wasn't true. So I asked you to take it down because I was up for an actual real radio gig. Mike Alto was helping me. It just didn't pan out. So that's what that was. And I thought we were cool. That's why I asked. But apparently, judging by your podcast, I'm banned. It's over. You've had it with me. And I'm not.
All right, I don't want to go through the whole thing. There's 21 minutes total, as you can see. So that's not even halfway. But if you go to patreon.com, search out Sit Down with Zumock. I just joined today. I've joined in the past, too, when he had his Kevin Brennan beef going on there. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. So I won't say anything. The other thing I wanted to share real quickly is I thought it was interesting that Chad had tweeted he was going to start, he had something on Stuttering John, or he had some Stuttering John story. I think like half the internet or half the Stuttering John fan crew or dabblers or whatever you want to call them, we were all thinking Chad was going to be on the Uncle Rico show, their Patreon thing, but it wasn't him. So I listened to Ski Mask, the Ski Mask Collective, yesterday, and they brought up, Ski Mask is another guy that Chad has issues with. And so they brought up the fact that Chad was talking about getting into the Stuttering John game. They were surprisingly respectful, I thought. And this is, of course, Ski Mask. And who is that? Teamster Tim. I'm unfamiliar with Teamster Tim. I'm sure anybody watching this, if you're bothering, can probably fill me in.
Podcasting. Zumock has been talking a lot about Ski Mask and others. He's trying to do the whole Stuttering John thing now. So he used to trash me on doing a wrap-up show of MLC. Now he wants to start a wrap-up show of the Uncle Rico show. What are your thoughts?
Listen, man, I think this whole Stuttering John thing, I think Shuey's show is as good as it's going to get with Levy, because those guys are associated with Stern. So,
right.
Chad's not associated with Stern. So, it makes sense. And I think like the end game, if Howard mentioned it, because I told you yesterday, if Howard got wind of it and mentioned it, that would be the nail in the coffin for John.
Right.
So I think it's got a shelf life, maybe 2 months. And then, what's John going to do? There's nothing.
Yeah, I thought that guy, Teamster Tim, had some good points there in terms of the shelf life and the fact, I was thinking over the last couple of days, Chad brought it up too, but there's been this resurgence. Well, not a resurgence. Is it just surgence? Is surgence a word? A lot of people are listening to the Uncle Rico show, me included. And Shuli is producing a ton of content. I worry, is it too much? Are we going to all be really tired of it in another week? Then on the other hand, WATP has been going on for several years now, so maybe it's not going to happen. But if you asked me like a week ago which show I liked better, I'd probably say Shuli, only based on the last couple of episodes, because poor Karl got hit with AJ Benza, who was just awful as a guest. I know there's some people like defending him, but I mean, AJ Benza has told those stories. I believe he told that Artie Lang, I copped dope, or I helped Artie Lang cop dope story. I think he told that on Misery Loves Company or the Stuttering John podcast in the past. I was just so turned off by how proud of himself he was for telling that story. What a piece of garbage. And what an interrupting, babbling ignoramus too. So, and then WATP had that episode, that live one where they sold out a place, but the recording was screwed up. So I was like, oh, look, even WATP has tech issues. God knows I do here in my basement. So based on that, and then you look at the last couple of weeks of the Shuli show, Uncle Rico show, he's really taken off. But I don't know. Karl is back in the saddle today with that Chad rant. Okay, the other thing that these guys talked about, I don't even remember why I clipped this, so let's just listen. Clipped it like I know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Oh my God, dude. It's just like
Although, I mean, of course, Howard Stern, one thing, will never mention any of this.
I don't feel bad for the guy. Like I'm tired of hearing all my favorite podcasts talk about it. In a way,
Well, it's just hot right now. It's real hot.
I know, but it's been hot. It's been like, it feels like it's been 2 or 3 weeks. Kumia's been doing it, which to me personally, nobody does it better than Kumia. Nobody can.
Well,
nobody clowns
he
him better.
directly interacts with Kumia, though. He goes after Kumia, so he's, that's the guy you want to hear from.
Right.
You don't want to hear from fucking, people he's not interacting with.
Yeah.
I like Teamster Tim, man. Dead on. You don't hear me talk about it. For God's sakes, he makes really good points there. Personally, I think like the Kumia Stuttering John stuff, to me, that's just too far over. It's just too much. It's too vicious. Anyway, I'm getting out messages as I do this. So just real quickly, too, I discovered last night over the last couple of weeks, why do I podcast? The other thing I meant to pull it to, I don't know if, has anybody watched Cardiff Electric when he brought out the Stuttering John puppet a couple of episodes ago? I just sat there. I'm pretty sure my wife's going to divorce me, but I was just laughing my ass off to that. I just think that guy's delivered. I don't know, who is that guy? I'm not that big. I'm not that deep into who are these podcasts. Who is Cardiff Electric? What is like, is that a comedian? Is that dude, is Andy Kaufman great? All right, so this was the first episode of Why Do I Podcast? And in this one, the host, he just starts off saying some things about Karl. I thought it was funny. I love these indie podcasts, man, or like these indie YouTube shows like this. I'm in my basement, lonely. And I just, the cheaper the better. I don't know. It's a weird, I listen to Ray DeVito, for God's sakes. And he just does a podcast, a live stream, like from his room that he rents. And I find it compelling. I'd rather listen to this than like King and the Sting or Fighter and the Bling, whatever the hell it is.
He wears glasses like a dork. He laughs at nothing. And his laugh sucks, too. He lives in Rochester, New York, where the #1 attraction is a museum about toys. He likes parody songs, which is a true sign of a psychopath. He has a band called The Isotopes, where they play pretty cool renditions of video game theme songs. Check him out. Did I mention his laugh sucks? He has tons of fans. Anthony Cumia loves his show and they're friends, and I hate that because I love Anthony Cumia and fuck.
Yeah, so check that show out if you have not already. I thought we would end it. I mean, there is this Shuley no, this isn't Shuley. It's The Sounds of StutJo from Dabblers Anonymous.
I came on a couple years ago.
I'm sorry, I'm breathing into the mic. And then last but not least, I will say that like I feel there's a little bit of revisionist history going on when it comes to Stuttering John's years on the Howard Stern show. It plays out in a lot of YouTube comments where people are just like, he was a whack packer from day one. I thought Shuley even downplayed him. I did get, when I interviewed Shuley, I got him to say some nice things about John's time on the show. Like, I thought the John versus Cabby fight, I remember going to Hofstra University for a work conference and having to sit in my car, like that old cliche. I didn't go into the conference because I wanted to hear the end of that broadcast of that boxing match. So I thought that was great radio. But anyway, here is Artie and John arguing just a little bit. This is before they went to Sirius, old YouTube video. And I think like this is the function that John had just prior to leaving the show. He was the guy that would stir the shit.
You know what he's resorted to now?
And I thought to play this because there was a great comment in Dabblers Anonymous on Reddit where somebody said, man, imagine if Artie was here, a healthy Artie here to bust on John, how incredible that would be.
The Hilton Hotel, he's wearing pajama bottoms. Walking around.
Oh, look who's talking. Ralph Lauren over here. John, your ass is so... John's ass is out the whole weekend.
I know.
No matter what he has on, half of the crack of his ass is grotesque. It's grotesque. They put us in the back office of this comedy club. It's like a closet.
Yeah.
John orders a bucket of beers that he has to have before he goes on stage. I mean, you think I got problems.
Right.
And you're sitting on a couch. John has to bend over to get the beer, and his ass is in your face while he's taking the cap off, shoving a lime with his Amstel Light. Just gross.
You know what's funny, Howard? I know. I've been over to his place, and the ass is like part of the whole day.
The ass is all over the place.
Yeah,
He has never bought a pair of pants that fit him.
No, he comes out to my house, and the ass is just like everywhere.
I've seen John's ass more than I've seen Dana's.
Howard, you know what's funny? The Camino's with us. Who's with you?
The comedian.
Russ Maneve. this guy. Russ Maneve. Is this
Come on. He was great in that context. That show obviously knew how to use him. So that's it. I just wanted to chime in real quick. I didn't live stream this because I would screw it up. I get too nervous. But mine. One other thing, just real quickly. One of the commenters in one of the YouTube videos that we did on Shuli and the Stuttering John feud said that I deleted comments. You may be right. I don't recall deleting any comments on the Insufferable Bastard YouTube page. I tend to just leave them. I tend to pin negative comments. You know, I have no delusions or illusions or whatever the word is about what this is. So I apologize, but I don't think I deleted any. So I just wanted to address that real quick. I did unlist some of the audio only. Like if I do a live stream or we do a video, I'm also sending the audio out through Libsyn, and that also goes to YouTube. I just wanted to clean up the page. All the videos are still there. They're just the audio only is unlisted. I don't think I've deleted any comments. I tried to see in YouTube Studio, and it's beyond me. I'm an old man. I don't know YouTube that well. I don't know how to, is there a way I could see if I deleted? There were some that were held for spam, but wasn't me. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. So thanks a lot. Take care.